My name is Greg McGuire with ENACT Systems.
Hey, Greg. Thanks.
Okay, great. So again, we're with ENACT Systems. Today's webinar is ENACT Systems and CED are announcing our Southwest partnership. And if you're not part of that partnership, you can reach out to us afterwards, and we can show you how you can join up with that. We wanted to kind of talk a little bit today about some of the challenges and opportunities that we see coming ahead for solar installers. So with that, I just want to talk a little bit about what the CED partnership is, and it's going to, be offering discounted pricing to their customers. There's going to be a lot of different. They've looked at a lot of different tools, and they've chosen ENACT, and Cole will expand on that a little bit more, why that was. And there's a lot of different ways that you're going to benefit from being part of this partnership, and we're looking forward to speaking to you about that. And so with that, Cole, if you're ready, I will kick it over to you, and we'll go from there.
That sounds like a plan. Perfect.
Over to you, Cole.
Perfect. Thank you for the introductions there, Greg. And just wanted to give you guys a little bit of background for anybody on the call who I may not have ran into up until this point. So I've been with CED going on just about 2 years now with the Greentech division. And prior to that, spent the last 10 years, 12 years total in the solar industry. Started back out in 2008 working with my father. We started a company in Southern Illinois and really became a very large EPC. So anything from, we did small resi jobs to start, but made it all the way up to, megawatt and multi-megawatt size projects for utility companies and customers. The last 5 to 7 years here in Arizona have spent that time working in high volume residential. And so, as part of all that I do, actually use the ENACT software, and that kind of brings us into, where this partnership started, kind of how it came about. And CED Greentech, at least in the Southwest region as a whole, we see the need for our customers to be more than just a parts supplier, and really wanted to broaden our levels of service. So, with that, we wanted to bring in an engineering firm to be able to do that for our customers in-house. We wanted to have sales proposal software, as well as some type of CRM or project management for leads and ongoing projects, as well as a valet service and financing. There's definitely a breadth of things that we offer now. And so with that, started reaching out to some of the guys out there in the industry who had the proposal software, CRM management stuff that we were looking for. And in our talks with ENACT, I think that there's obviously other companies out there, but there was a couple very unique things that we found in working with them. And so as part of that, we're able to do a couple things for our customers. And one of the big things is obviously a discount in the pricing, being able to leverage CED's national network and the amount of people that we work with, able to get some reduced costs for our customers there, which also includes to some extent an increased service level through either the CED team or ENACT team, depending on what your needs are. The other piece to that is, because I do have the background in the EPC and high volume residential solar world, I think a lot of the times, in the industry, we're looking to our buddies or our friends or someone we know, hey, well, what do you think about this product? Should I try this? And so as part of that, we've kind of vetted this product on your guys' behalf. In my background, I did everything from sales in a home to design management to actual CAD drawings, operations. I've pretty much done every portion of the job to some extent. And so with this, it's kind of personally verified that, it works really well. In the details, as far as the layout, as far as the rate programs, as far as how you can utilize it to move the project from just a lead to full proposal to getting engineering. So that was kind of what we did for you guys on the back end. As part of that, some of the other things that I think are valuable to mention from an installer/sales guy's perspective is the custom proposals and loan integration. So as part of the CED Greentech breadth of things that we offer, ensemble financing is a big piece of that. And for each of those different types of loans, one of the great things working with ENACT is we can help you guys in building that loan into their system so that you're getting accurate proposals with monthly payments and everything else, as well as your layout and the typical things that you're going to show a customer, cost for savings and so on and so forth. The other piece to it, I think, is kind of a two-pronged piece, whether it's the pre-sale or the post-sale. There's also going to be lead management. So, if you guys wanted to use this software to be able to input leads and kind of track them through that way and where they're at in the proposal stage and what proposals have been presented to them. Obviously, some accountability there and also usefulness for the salesperson themselves. And then as well as project management on the post-install end or possibly even pre-install to be able to kind of track that through where is this project at. The other piece, as I kind of alluded to with CED having more of a breadth of options for our customers, is the kind of get engineering, along with a site visit. You can take this proposal, get your site visit completed, and now you have the two pieces you need to get over to your engineer to quickly get your permitting documents. So while I think there's plenty of other things that I'll let the guys from ENACT cover specifically, that was really where a lot of the basis of this came from. We wanted to do good by our customers, give them a good product, but then also have it be more of a full suite versus here's what your panels will look like on the roof. As part of this, I think we all see that there are some changes in the market. I think the solar coaster, anybody who's been on it more than 6 months realizes that changes are inevitable, at least in the solar industry. But I think this year it's definitely been a larger impact than it may have been in the past. And, I think a lot of that obviously stems from the pandemic. At least here in Arizona, I would say a good majority of new customers and leads came through door knocking and, face-to-face interaction. And obviously with the pandemic now, a lot of that has shifted to teleconference, telemarketing, phone calls, mailers. There's not as much of that face-to-face anymore. And with the adoption of that by a lot of companies, I think there's a lot more opportunity for remote consultation and sales for, especially the companies that get on board and kind of adopt that as a new mentality. And so, this software obviously is a big piece of that, being able to either walk through it with a customer over the phone on a call or be able to put the proposals together while you're talking to them and send it over to them right there because it's quick and easy to use. Beyond that, I think there's also a lot of kind of change in, or at least a diversion in the current state of the market between sales organizations and installers. In the past, I would say that there was a much fewer amount of sales organizations. Most installers were local, but there's been a change in the last couple of years that we have a lot of people taking one side or the other that they can be really efficient at, and then partner and work together. And I think in the reality of it, you may start on one side or another, but as most of these companies grow, whether it be into new states, new territories, just, growing larger in the place that they're already in, what they end up doing is kind of moving to, well, hey, we're not just going to do a piece of it anymore, we're going to do it all. So whether you're a sales organization that, hey, maybe I want to become an installer, well, how you lay out your panels, how you propose the system, as well as how you manage that project is going to be a big piece to it. And vice versa, if you're an installer trying to do sales, well, now I have to learn pipeline management, lead management. There's going to be some other pieces to the puzzle in there. Those installers or sales organizations, the thing that I've seen the most probably in the last year or two as well is really the growth, and not necessarily growth in individual markets, but installers moving into new states and territories. I think a lot of that is driven by net metering laws, solar renewable energy credits, or SRECs in certain states. Believe it or not, there's still a few out there that have rebate and incentive programs, and the cost of power keeps going up. So some of those states that might have been a 7 to 9 year ROI 5 years ago have now become a state that is a 5 to 7 year ROI, and it's moving the residential market. Obviously, the commercial kind of falls in line with that, but especially on the residential side, we've seen a lot of installers moving into new states, new territories. And I won't get too political on you here, but I think there will also be a big change probably coming at the end of this year, depending on how the election piece plays out. I know I saw, and I didn't read through it all, but I know I saw a plan from 1.7 trillion over 10 years to 10 trillion being proposed over 4 years. And a lot of that goes to green energy and kind of the markets that we're referring to here. So I have a feeling in the next 12 months, depending on whether that goes one way or another, we could see some really big changes coming to the industry as well from that, whether it be an extension of the tax credit, maybe keeping it at 15%. I mean, I'm not speculating on what may happen, but there will definitely be a different push behind clean energy. And then the last kind of big thing that I've really seen this year, specifically in California and Florida, is really the disaster relief efforts and the funding, and whether you want to call it disaster relief or your utility company just shutting your power off because of a fire risk, or they can't provide it to you, whatever the case may be. There's definitely been an uptick in that, and as part of that, I see a lot more storage systems being proposed. Now, this is more of across the U.S. than necessarily Arizona. While I do see an uptick in Arizona, I have a feeling that there's going to be, even some policy changes that come just like from those other states. I mean, this year we've had, I think, more larger fires than any other year before. So, I don't see why there couldn't be a possibility of something like what's happened in Florida and California to happen here, or for that matter, in any other states as we continue to grow as a country. And but the backside to that is I think there's also been a lot more funding that's been put towards that as well, whether it be funding for specialized loans that are for battery-only systems, or grants and rebates, even locally here in SRP, one of Arizona's two largest utility companies. They're offering a rebate on anybody who puts in batteries for distributed generation. So I think you'll see that grow, and depending again on how that kind of evolves and moves into every state, if there's going to be growth there, it's just going to be a matter of how. And the final piece that I kind of wanted to go through with you guys today was really the kind of emerging markets and what I see coming down the pipeline in the next year to 2 years. And one thing that I really see coming is new industries entering the solar marketplace. And I think that stems from what I kind of went over earlier as far as sales organizations versus installers. You're finding a lot of companies that are maybe in a different space that deal a lot with homeowners, whether it be pest control or audio video, possibly an alarm company. Hey, you know what? We already sell to homeowners. We can take some training. We can learn the solar marketplace, see how to sell in there, and have somebody else install it for us. And so I think over the next probably 12 to 24 months, you're going to see a lot more of those. I deal with homeowner companies, but I'm not in the solar business, that are going to start to pop up. I've also seen quite a bit on demand suppression. Locally here in SRP, we have a demand rate program. So demand suppression has been around at least here since 2015 on the residential side. But one of the things I've gotten a lot of requests for lately are more on the commercial and industrial scale size. So maybe you know, maybe you don't. But as far as the utility grid goes, there's kind of a baseline usage, and that's what they have their plants powered for. They're going to bring new plants online as demand goes up, and as all the air conditioners turn on at 4 or 5 o'clock, they're going to be able to take care of that power for that time frame, and then those generators go back offline. And as part of that, what I've seen quite a bit of, whether it be distributed generation or a single source, is a large amount of that demand suppression. So, you know, I know in Texas, there's quite a few cities there, and I think this has more to do with the hurricanes and other stuff, but they wanted to have 3 to 4 hours worth of power available for their entire community that can also then be used to suppress demand on those peak times without having to bring new generators online or build new power plants. So again, kind of seeing both the residential and commercial side growth in that demand suppression. Another piece is the new home construction solar requirement, which is out there in California currently. This is kind of another thing back to the new industries entering the solar marketplace. Well, prior to this, builders have been, there's some that are very forward thinking that are into solar and maybe pre-wire a home or include a package with it, or maybe they're trying to get to net zero or some kind of LEED certification. But with the new home construction requirements in California, I have a feeling they're trying to set the model for the rest of the country. And it's really going to be a pretty big shift from being an installer who installs for a homeowner to working with a builder and a very different kind of sales and construction management process through that. And one of the things these builders, I think, are looking into is not necessarily just the solar piece, but more of the smart, energy efficient, I don't know necessarily a good word for it, but this combination of smart home and storage and solar, you know, especially on a new home, if I can give you a cool thermostat, some alarm.com or some type of security system, along with window and door sensors and being able to turn off your breakers and monitor your power, along with some storage in case of outages or if you have a need for it for a different purpose, plus the solar to save you money. Now it's kind of a package kit. And when it's all lumped in together, whether it be in your mortgage or, you know, in some type of specialty solar loan for it, as long as it saves you money, I think customers are obviously on board with that. But builders kind of see it in a different way where we want to give them this cool package and kit, not necessarily just, you know, individual items for it. Excuse me. One of the last two pieces here that I see really changing over the next year or two is going to be net metering, zero export, and as part of that, verifying your savings. So net metering went away here in SRP 2015, and with that, you know, there's two options now. You can still do time of use where you can save a little bit of money if you choose, or you can go attack your demand and possibly save a little or possibly save a lot depending on, you know, kind of the profile of your house. I don't think this is going to be one of the first utilities. I know it won't be the last. We're already seeing zero export in certain parts of Florida, California. Hawaii's been like that for quite some time now. So as part of that, being able to have a proposal tool or proposal software that is highly accurate on what kilowatt hours are going to, you know, actually provide me offset, how much is going to be stored in my batteries, what's going to make it back through the meter, do I get paid for that, or do I get a reduced rate? And so one of the things that I see getting even more important over the next couple of years is really verifying that savings. And that kind of brings us back to the ENACT CED partnership, where if you don't have the right tool, if you don't have the right setup, if you don't have somebody to make sure to either guide you through that or kind of verify what you've put together, you know, you could be out there giving people incorrect information. I think we've all seen that if you've spent any time in the solar industry. Whether they did it intentionally or unintentionally, there's not always the best information. So verifying those savings is going to be a huge piece. And then the last thing I see here is really just the DIY marketplace. I think there's a lot of people who, you know, over the last 10 years, all solar, really difficult, especially stringing systems and all the different ways to design it and configure it and new products every year. But with some of the integration of microinverters, a standardization of panels and installation, online trainings that are available to anybody, not just somebody in the industry, and being able to pull your own permit, I think you have a lot more people that are trying the DIY, not necessarily installing it themselves, but kind of like your new cabinets and your new kitchen. I didn't do the work, but I managed all the guys that were coming in to do the work for me. So I see a huge uptick there, which, all of those guys are going to need some kind of sales proposal software, maybe the installation piece. There's going to be something that they're missing and can't do themselves. So I feel there'll be a lot of opportunity that's going to come through that as well. And with that, that was kind of the end of my section here. So I will shoot this back over to you, Greg.
Well, Cole, thank you so much, man. There was so much information in there, and I thought it was going to be stuck in Illinois there for a while. But man, you had a ton of information about what's happening.
Well, it's been lucky for me to be able to see this on a national scale. I still do work with my dad in the company we started out of Illinois, and they work pretty much throughout the entire U.S. and sometimes in other countries. So while I have a lot of local examples, I wanted to kind of share a broader look at things as well.
Well, thank you. Well, CED Greentech Southwest is lucky to have you on board, someone that's kind of been there, done that, and now is passing that knowledge on to other folks as well. You mentioned that whole idea of, finding competition or seeing competition from some low-hanging fruit there. And is there an opportunity, do you think, for, you guys offer kitted solutions or anything?
So,
like for smart home stuff, or is it how do you address that market and the competition?
So we do have some kitted stuff. We brought in a guy who specializes in smart homes, spent about the last 10 years doing it, and he has helped us put together some kits that are either kind of an easy install package where, during the pandemic, there are people who don't want you at their house whatsoever. So we kind of have a smart home integration kit that we can send to them that is fairly simple to install. You're basically just going to plug and play everything. And then we also have some higher level versions of that for installers specifically, where they can either work with an alarm company, or if they just want to have the smart home piece to it, there's some configuration, and then we also have packages as well. Great question.
Okay. And have you seen an uptick from your solar installers looking for that, or do you think it's a market that's just ripe for opportunity that they should be dialing into?
I think it's ripe for opportunity for sure. I mean, if you can give somebody something fun and enjoyable and make their life better, not only by saving them money, but by also giving them maybe comfort or security in their property, and we can roll it all in together. I don't see why you wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I agree. And if people are capable of installing solar, then I wouldn't think that, putting a Nest thermostat in is a big leap. So that's great stuff. Okay, great. Well, keep the questions coming. We're going to
it looks like we do have one question here, if you want to go through that real quick, unless you wanted to wait.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Where is that one?
So we had a question. It looks like, what related home-to-home industries do you see coming to solar? And the home-to-home industries that I really see, at least in my local market, but more than likely across the board, the big ones are audio-video guys, and I think that boils into that smart home space. They're already doing some of that work. They already have some of the security, so it's kind of adding solar to their package. I also see pest control. They're already in the home. They work with people on a monthly or daily basis, so they have the option to kind of speak with them about it. I would say so security alarm, pest control, audio, video, and then, really it's just at the end of the day, somebody who's doing something technical that's in the home already. Those are the big things I see coming.
Yeah, that's probably a great point. That's one thing I hadn't even considered is, due to how many people, they're very reluctant to have people come into their home. And when you're there, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at you and go, can you do this? And can you do this? And can you do this? And that's probably something we should all explore a little bit more.
At least have the tool in the tool bag, right?
Yeah, agreed. Okay, with that, we're going to talk a little bit about ENACT's platform. And as Mark's getting ready to queue up his part, this is kind of what ENACT is all about, right? So we have two major programs or platforms here. On the three on the left is the Envision platform. That's what Mark is going to speak with us about in a minute. The Engage platform is our new assets. It's really a custom fleet management system using the distributed assets that we have deployed around the country. And so if you have a number of customers and you want to view all of their systems together and they want to be part of that network, then that might be something down the road that you can approach them with. And again, on July 28th, we're going to be talking a little bit more about that for that webinar. Today, we're going to focus on the Envision platform. And as you can see, Envision does it all. It's everything from design and engineering, financing and contracts in there, the whole workflow management, which is really, really important. I mean, there's a lot of other tools out there that just kind of build a proposal and then you kind of use that tool and gotten the max value out of it. With our tool and ENACT, you're not only going to build your proposal, but you're going to track all your workflow management and step through that and be able to track all your remote operations. And Mark will show that here in a minute. But that's our mission, is accelerate the deployment of renewables. And with that, Mark, if you're ready, we can kind of step through the demo.
Sure. Thanks, Greg. Okay. Can you see okay?
Yes, all set.
Great. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and log into ENACT here. For those that haven't seen it, the first thing you're going to see is your project view. So you can view your entire pipeline for your entire team or selected team members or selected sales teams. You can manage that on the left here, seeing all of the different team members on the platform, and then sort and go through any of the projects you have. You can sort by any of these columns here, by company, customer name, city and state, project size, electric bill, anything like that. So you can really view your entire pipeline. And then if we go into the dashboard here, you can then view the entire pipeline in sort of a graphical representation. So it's a pie chart showing your entire pipeline, where all of your projects are in particular stages. All of these stages are going to be dictated by our workflow setup, which helps you manage your projects from lead to commissioning and beyond. And so you're really going to be able to set up your own workflow, which I'll show now into the configure workflow. This is how you script your entire process from beginning to end. So you can totally customize all of these steps to your process, to your market, your project type, whatever the case is. All of these steps can have different task owners within your organization. It can have different activities associated with it, documents that needed to be uploaded at a particular stage, or completion alerts that go out to particular team members, or if that's a configured email that's going to the customer, you can really customize an email template for every step. And then along that way, you can customize that process. So that's how the entire platform is set up with the workflow setup. If I go back into the projects tab here, you'll be able to see all the projects, and you can again sort by different stages within your workflow. If I just go into a particular project here, I'm just going to select it. This is a commercial property in Arizona. You can see all of your customer information here on the top left. Your utility information here in the middle. So we have utility rates and rate schedules for the entire country. So literally any address in the U.S., you'll be able to look up the utility rates and analyze usage for any residential or commercial customer. For this customer, they just provided us an annual annual amount that they estimate their bill to be, which is $40,000 a year. Now, based on these rate schedules, ENACT will do a load analysis to show, you know, what your tiers are, what your costs are, and break down, you know, the average seasonal breakdown. So you can see we're doing 459,000 kilowatt hours plus at 9 cents a kilowatt hour in Arizona, and that's going to be our baseline pre-solar consumption. And now I can go in here to just create a quote. It'll bring you to our design page where you can lay out panels and design systems. We're just going to do this. This is like a flush mount commercial roof, but you can really do any kind of flat roof, ground mount, carport, any project type. So we'll just, on the left here, you can select all your design parameters. So I'm going to do a portrait orientation. This is a pitched roof. And you can select from your own hardware setup. So you have full customization to include the actual modules that you're getting from CED. You can also assign your actual pricing to those hardware items so that you're accurately pricing projects no matter what hardware you select. So just do a 2 cells, 72 cell, 385 watt module. And I can now just trace out my array by starting with a ridge, tracing out the border of this roof. I'm easily going to select those panels. Within each array, you can assign either a global setback or per edge. So I'm just going to go and put in like a 3-foot setback from the ridge and the hips here. And, you know, you can see I've got an 86 kilowatt array here. Very easy. If I want to say go ahead and just draw in a walkway, I'll draw in a keep out. So I know I'm accounting for any required fire department walkways. So I'm just going to trace out this roof. I can hold the shift key to get 90-degree angles on square arrays. That allows a really clean array. Doing my setbacks. Great. Let's just clean this up a bit. Great. So really easily just put out a 213 kilowatt array on this roof. Obviously, we have more space. In the interest of time, I'm just going to do these 2 arrays for now. So once you have your array set up, you can capture the image so that you can select, you know, either just the building or the entire property that you want to show in your proposal image. So capture that one. Next, we will go into our inverter sizer, so you can select a target DC to AC ratio, and it will tell you your required AC capacity based on that. So then you can go into your inverter selection and select particular inverters to meet your capacity. So let's just say we have 10 kilowatt solar edge inverters. Put in 17 of those or 18 of those, and now I have an actual DC-AC ratio of 1.19. So you can easily spec your hardware selections and inverter sizing, make sure that it's correct based on your system performance expectations. Then you can select your post-PV rate schedule. If there's different options there, you can customize your utility inflation amount. Instead of 5%, maybe you want to show 4%. And we are also pretty agnostic. So if you have a complex design and you used a tool like, say, Helioscope to create a custom generation profile, you can upload that Helioscope CSV file directly here and use your custom generation file. Otherwise, you'll use our system, which uses NREL PV watts to produce the system production. We have a third-party rate generator that is giving us the pre and post solar bills. So now I can analyze, on a monthly and tier basis, what is my savings and offset with the solar system. You can see I've got like a 74% offset of my bill. My post-solar bill goes down to about $10,700. I can see my solar production ratio to make sure that it's performing the way I'm expecting, as well as see the avoided cost of energy, make sure that looks correct. So once you have your design and layout set up, now we just can go to the Finance tab where you can easily price that system, accurately giving the price setup. So you can have custom price breakdowns that automatically price every project depending on the system size, the hardware selected, and type of racking, so that you're accurately producing cost estimates in seconds, basically. You can have multiple profiles if you have, say, residential and commercial. And so you've got to automatically calculate this at $225 per watt. I can add incentives if there's any incentives in that area. And then I can compare up to two finance options. So I have a PACE loan here. I will also contrast that with a loan from SolRates. You can do all different types of tax treatments. So we'll include the bonus depreciation on all these options. And then we can just download our proposal. So you can see how really, in just a few minutes, you can quickly analyze the utility information, system design, and financial analysis for nearly any property. Excuse me, my internet's going a little slow this morning, but this is downloading. So we have fully customizable proposal templates that can have messaging and branding for your company. Obviously, you can have your system design show all the different types of graphs and financial analytics. So I can see here, I'm estimating at an 11-year payback for the system, detailing all of the hardware selections, financial analysis, cash flow tables, and again, we have fully customizable proposal templates. So going back into ENACT, within each project, just show you how you can obviously view the quotes that you've made. You can upload and have all documents relating to this project, so anyone can access all the documents for that project in the cloud. You can also have contract templates uploaded in here so that you can easily populate and generate DocuSignable contracts based on the quote that you just set up. We have a DocuSign integration right into the platform, so you really just with 2 clicks can send a customer a DocuSign contract based on the proposal that you just created without leaving the ENACT platform. And then you'll also manage your project by, completing specific tasks, looking at, when things were completed, who completed them. You can upload all the documents at the specific stages. So this is really how you can manage your pipeline through sales, through operations, and even through post-install asset management, which again, as Greg mentioned, we will be detailing some new updates on in the near future. Once you do have your project, as Cole mentioned, we do have the ability to go in here and just select engineering package, and that goes to our engineering partners. We can actually supplement your own in-house engineering and get full CAD designs and permit packages back. So you have the ability to integrate engineering partners if anybody needs that as well. And quickly, I'll just go through some of the configuration items that you can do. Obviously, all of your hardware selections, you can select exactly which modules you want your sales group to sell with, and again, apply actual pricing and data sheets to those so that that is showing up accurately and customizing every proposal that you do. You can also set up your own custom loan options, as Cole was mentioning, based on the actual dealer fees and rates that you're getting from particular lenders, so you can calculate loans easily. Customize your proposal, your contracts, your system pricing. That is something that we handle with you as part of the onboarding into ENACT, so it's not something that you have to do alone. We have a very good team of customer support and success that's here to help. We have this chat function that's available nearly all the time for any issues that you have on the platform. And we really look forward to providing this to any of CED's customers that would like to benefit from our relationship. Anything else you want me to go over, Greg?
Yeah, Mark, that's awesome. I was just wondering on the, can you create a bomb? You can create a bomb out of this, right? And CED can just, that can be sent over to CED for fulfillment?
Exactly. Once you create a quote, you can download an actual Excel bomb that'll show the actual hardware you've selected, the quantities, the pricing that you've estimated for permitting, labor, profit, you name it, and so that you'll be able to adjust and report on your actual cost for each project.
Okay, very good. And it looks like we did have a couple questions here. Is there any performance guarantee on savings, for instance, on PV production, something like that?
Good question. So, it obviously depends on the system owner. We just estimate the system production and savings, giving our proprietary calculations that in all our studies have been very accurate and correct. There really is no way to guarantee system performance, without having detailed, on-site shading calculations, as-built designs, or or just, without having a third-party owner who's responsible for that system.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a feedback loop, right? I mean, in order to have some kind of guarantee of performance, you need to be able to, you can certainly, that's a manufacturer's warranty problem, but at some point, I think that's what you'll see with ENACT is as we build out our energy storage module, we'll be able to read that data and then, make a, just continue to expand and learn off of what it is, because we want to make these as accurate as possible. But right now we'll use the manufacturer's data, and that's what you're going to see in the production data here.
Right. Thanks, Greg. And while we are not in the business of actually, selling or guaranteeing projects to customers, we are in the business of offering tools to both estimate and report on what was proposed in terms of production and savings and what was actually generated and what savings were actually occurred. So that is a asset management platform that we are rolling out again, which you should hear some updates on very soon, where we are really trying to break the mold of transparency and providing actual detailed cash flows for system life cycles.
Okay, great. Yeah, so keep the questions coming. Those are great questions, and we're open to see if there's anything else. So are there any finance options integrated in the platform? So maybe you can just kind of go over that again briefly, Mark.
Sure. So yes, we do have a fully customizable finance template where you can really model any type of finance product, whether it's a PPA, lease, loan, PACE. And we do have specific integrations with some lenders that have very specific programs, whether it's like interest-only programs or combo loans. So yes, we do have both direct integrations and templates to model any type of finance product that's out there.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago we did a webinar with Collective Sun that focuses specifically on tax-exempt programs and so or tax-exempt entities. And boy, there is a lot of great information on that, and we're going to have that fully modeled in here too. So if you did have a nonprofit tax-exempt organization, church, school, that kind of thing, it might be a great program for them where they do the discount up front. And part of this partnership is CED has their ensemble finance program that you're going to be able to model that in ENACT also. So that's another great part of the CED partnership. And Cole, do you know anything about how that's going to work?
Yes. So as far as how that piece will work, every customer may end up with a slightly different dealer fee or interest rate, depending on volume and exactly what it is they're selling and what they're doing. So I think that as far as process-wise, your internal CED salesperson, as well as getting with a representative from ENACT, we can basically get all that back-end data for you to help that get built.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, so keep the questions coming, but let's see if we have any more here. Cole, did you have anything else that you'd like to add now that we saw what the ENACT platform was like?
I think the only thing that I would maybe add there is, personally, I have used this and do use it on a regular basis. I have both residential customers that may be new to the solar game and sometimes need some help in figuring some stuff out. So it's very useful for me, even as a salesperson for CED, to be able to use this to help drive some sales for me personally. So I use it quite a bit on residential and also commercial to size up design systems, and kind of like we've discussed here, we can model a loan or we can pull a bill of material from that as well.
Yeah, and while the screen's up there, I just want to make sure everybody has our contact information if you have any follow-on questions. But we're really looking forward to this partnership that we have with CED Greentech. It's just something that is going to be of great benefit, I think, to their customers, and we look forward to showing them the ENACT platform. If you don't have any information on that, you can reach out to one or three of us, and we'll help you out. And certainly, if you are a CED Greentech Southwest customer, we look forward to onboarding you onto the platform. And again, hopefully everybody can dial in again toward the end of July 28th at 11 a.m. We're going to be rolling out our energy storage platform, and you're going to be a whole lot more comprehensive capabilities here into this program. And Mark, do you see any more questions there? Anything we need to?
Yeah, there just one was regarding tax treatments. So yes, for commercial, you can assign either maker's depreciation or bonus depreciation. You can customize the actual customer's tax rate so that you can accurately propose the amount of depreciation benefits and tax effects on their system. So short answer, yes, we can do all types of tax treatments.
Yeah, we can model all of that in the proposal so the customer sees it as well. And, if you get stuck on those kind of questions, we have the expertise at ENACT Systems. We're just a quick phone call away, we're here to help you answer those. So with that, I'll just kind of go around the horn one more time. And Cole, do you have anything else to close out with?
No, I think that's I think it was a great presentation. Appreciate everybody's time for joining.